Hello and welcome back to Princess Evangile. I didn't really want to come to a girls' school either. I was doing bar work alone in the corner of an athletic field, and the sentiment came to me as if I'd just realised it. In the centre of the field they were having a softball match. It was gym class. And unlike our regular classes, I had a separate regime for gym. That meant that whenever gym rolled around, I became even more acutely aware of the fact that, I was the lone boy among a class of girls. Naturally, I was aware of it in every aspect of my everyday life. Like, for instance, at the bathroom. Unsurprisingly, there was no boys' toilet, and there was, apparently a lot of debate, largely because I came here, about where I would do my business. One suggestion was that I would have to go back to my dorm for it, and another was to have a simple bathroom installed. But the former was rejected as discrimination, and the latter was creating an eyesore. As such, I was allocated a specific stall in the staff bathroom. I also used that stall for a separate purpose: changing. Made sense when I thought about it. Girls' school wouldn't have separate changing rooms, so I would have to change in the bathroom. I'm not one of those guys who eats lunch in the bathroom. That's a thing? It's a thing for people to eat lunch in the bathroom? Good lord. I'd actually done that at my old school, so it didn't bother me that much compared to that. In addition, my room in the dorm had a bath and a toilet installed, and it had air conditioning and other functions. So despite the occasional inconveniences, I was glad that I came to Venice's. Besides, I have made friends. I wished I had some guy friends, of course, but hey, I wasn't about to be picky. I heard footsteps approaching and turned around. Why are you staring into space like that? Oh, it's nothing. You aren't feeling unwell, are you? What? No, I feel fine. Really? Rai-san put her hand to my forehead. The softness of her hand caused my heart to skip a beat. But it might be your temperature. What? Well, you know. Rai-san stepped back and turned her eyes away, frowning. I mean after yesterday. Oh, you mean the foaming at the mouth? It really seems like nothing phases you. I suppose I have no reason to complain. Well, it was kind of rough on me, but it was nothing compared to this one time. One time? Oh, I used to work part-time for this pickaxe company. Pickaxe? That's a tool used in engineering? Yeah, that. Basically manual labour. One time I was working outside in midsummer, collapsed from the heat. I needed the money, but it was hard balancing school and work, and at the end of the year my boss went bankrupt and the company dissolved. You truly are more impressive than you seem. I wonder about that. Let me see your hand. Huh? I did as she asked, and she began looking over my palm like a palm reader. It's true, it does feel rough. Maybe it was from all those days wielding pickaxes. Well, I suppose it would go back to normal eventually. Riku-san is a bit strange, but I can see why it surprised her. Compared to Rai-san's lily white hand, it was clear how different they were. By the way, is it okay? I think we're being watched. And is it alright for you to leave your class? I'll be fine. Our team is batting now and I just struck out. Even so, when I looked back at the game, everyone was participating in cheering, or at least they were staying by the field. As a result, there were quite a few eyes turned our way. However, despite turning red at holding my hand, she didn't seem to mind their attention. Still, I guess that's part of being solid to coal. So you're feeling well? Yeah, I'm fine. I see. I'm glad. She placed her hand on her breast and let out a sigh of obvious relief. That was the first time I've ever acted violently. Well, I suppose not. I did slap that gangster person. In any event, it's rare for me. I even surprised myself. Well, I can't blame you. Something that untoward had happened to Venice's would create a massive scandal. A scandal, I suppose. Huh? Her face was bright red, and I was just wondering when a sudden scream of "Watch out!" disrupted my thoughts. Yeah! The white ball approached me at blinding speed, and I just barely managed to catch it. Ow! A minute later, a blinding pain shot from my hand to my brain. Are you alright? She took my hand once again, and I watched as a redness started spreading around my palm. Ah! No! Oh, sorry. Oh, no! No! Ah, it's fine. I have pretty thick palms. But... Our classmates were gathering around, forming a ring around us. Oh, are you alright, Rai-san? Rai-san, were you hurt? Oh, I hope nothing's happened to damage solid at all. God, they're... Seriously, everybody here is a terrible person. I'm fine. Are you people blind? I'm not the one who's in pain here. Masaya-san is. The others stood silent in the face of Rai-san's anger. Anyway, we're going to the nurse's office. We need to put some ice on this. Right. Rai-san led me by the hand as we ran towards the school building. I wonder what Rai-san was so upset about. I don't know. But Masaya-san is impressive in some ways. I was shocked by the article in yesterday's newspaper. Yes, I agree. At a time like that, it really made me think. You realise I ran out of posh British accents to do ages ago. Next main character, I don't care who they are, they're getting a really strong Scottish accent. Just because, screw it. It's one of the few accents I can, well, not actually do accurately, because I'm willing to bet anyone who's actually from Scotland would beat me around the head for doing it. But, you know, it's at least distinct enough that you can tell what it's meant to be. After class, we gathered in our room in Maria Hall. Well, I'm sorry about yesterday. I may have overstepped my boundaries. No, it was my fault. I just lost my head. Huh? What happened yesterday? No, it's nothing. Nothing to worry about, right? Yeah, that's right. Ruriku-san smiled cheerfully at the two girls, who were both curiously red in the face. I had no idea what was going on. Anyway, well, starting today, we should meet here in Maria Hall every day after class. I started slipping into the old woman voice there. Of course. Got it. But as we have club activities, I think it would be best to choose a cut-off point. I believe 30 minutes would be best before we disperse. I agree. Yeah. I see. Though I'm not actually enrolled in any club activities personally. Is there a club that you'd like to join? Not especially. They aren't mandatory at Venice's. If you see the one that you like, you may join it. I nodded. Are you in all clubs? Are you all in clubs? I mean, I know that Ruruku-san is in the bread baking club. Seriously, bread baking club? I could completely get a cookery club, but a bread baking club seems very specific to me. I mean, anyway. Yes, we have a large oven and it's all taken very professionally. Oh, that's right. She smiled brightly, bringing her palms together. Oh, I baked some bread in honour of our coming together like this. I thought we could have it with tea. That sounds nice. Goo! When did you bake it? Last night? This morning, of course. It wouldn't do to leave it overnight. Is that okay for you? Seems like baking bread would take a while. Oh, the initial fermentation takes place in the refrigerator the day before. Of course, I do have to get up rather early. But that doesn't bother me terribly much, after all. I do love making French bread. I see. Chio, you're in track? She'd run the track all 3 years at her old school. Yeah. And you, Rai-san? I'm in the choir. It's a popular activity at Venice's, perhaps due to the Psalms. As with the baking club, it seemed like the school's origin as a mission was a big influence on club life. That's right. Now that you are our affiliates, there was something that I wanted to give you, but... Rai-san touched the ribbon that was tied around her upper arm. It turns out that only official members are allowed to wear them. The rules were quite strict on that only those who are elected can become association representatives. It's just that I see so few white lily ribbons now. It's very frustrating. In the end, they all abandoned you. Rai-san nodded. There is nothing in the rules about resigning, but they still do not wish to participate. And rules cannot bind a person's feelings, after all. That is true. And you still see a lot of red rose ribbons around, huh? Yes. The room in Maria Hall was quite large, but it was easy to imagine it full of people and lively chatter. Now the size just emphasized how empty it was. Masaya-san, are you continuing to socialize with the others? Well, yeah, for now. You don't look happy. It's not that I don't like it, it's just... well, I've never been much of a pickup artist. A pickup artist? Like pick up sticks? No, a pickup artist is... Chio spoke up, as if to cover for me. Speaking of which, did you have a girlfriend? What? You mean after I skipped town? Yeah. No, I couldn't have one. I mean, like I said on the bus, I didn't really make any friends there. That's right. Plus, there was no girl that I was really into. I had my job. Well, it was mostly just rough old men. That's true. Do you have one now? A girl that you like? Oh, I stared hard at Riku-san's face as she pressed me to answer, and she met my eyes with her usual bright smile. Feeling Rai-san and Chio's eyes on me, I cleared my throat lightly. Businesses is a school of beauties, after all. You know, well, what's that supposed to mean? No, I mean, it's true, it's just, well... I spoke seriously. Look, I've only just gotten here, and we have the premier judgment ahead of us, and... well, I haven't really thought about it. I see. Everything suddenly went quiet, and Rai-san spoke up to fill the sudden silence. Well... Anyway, what were we talking about again? Oh, that's right, we were talking about Masaya-san's social circle. It occurred to me that it might be rather difficult for you to make friends normally. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, Genesis is a girls' boarding school after all. Even if you tried to talk to them, they probably wouldn't have anything to do with you, right? Yeah, that's true. Then an unorthodox method to bring them to you as one picks flowers. No, that's not what I meant, of course. The more beautiful a flower, the more you wish to pluck it, to defile it. That is what they say, after all. Riku-san was in her own little world, as always. It's more about opinion. Opinion? As you know, I have a very high opinion of you. Right. Thanks. But it goes without saying that the other girls here do not share that opinion. That's the key. As government economics has its rising tide strategy, we must make Masaya-san rise in the same way. Okay, how? Well, that's a matter up for discussion, but if more things happen like today, we should make sure it shows up in the newspaper. What happened today? Well, it was during gym class. Rai-san explained. Chio spoke up, clearly impressed. Wow! That's right, in our first year you were scouted by some people from the sports club. You should have joined them. Yeah. Well, I wanted to join them, but I'd started working part-time jobs by then. Hiding them from the school, of course. Has your hand recovered? Put some ice on it. It's still a little red, though. Allow me to see. I held up my hand towards her. My, it's so rough and hot and swollen with redness. Damn you, my friend! If anybody's not aware, I have a friend who is very proud of the fact that he can turn anything you say into a sexual innuendo. Once you've known him for long enough, you kind of start picking up the ability. It's annoying. Because there are lines like that that are just... oh, so obvious. I know that's not what she's talking about, but it wasn't all that swollen anyway. Who could that be? Come in. Oh my. Salutations. Can we help you? Oh, I expected to find you alone here with Messiah-san. She was clearly surprised to see 4 people there. Can it be that you've joined the White Lily Society, Bijou Blue? Yes. But only those that are elected can serve as representatives. We're aware of that, but as you can see, they aren't wearing ribbons. They are, like Messiah-san, affiliates, and they've chosen of their own volition to help us. Affiliates? I've never heard of such a thing. You certainly haven't. After all, I thought of the title myself. Rice-san spoke with nothing less than total grace. That's just like you. Always so self-serving. You have no reason to be angry. Please, have a seat, calm down, talk with us. Clearly infuriated, Mitsuki-san took a seat. Then she looked again at Chio. I am Matika Mitsuki. I suppose we'll be seeing a lot of each other from now on. Pleasure. I'm Sigishogi Chio. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, I really can't pronounce Japanese names. Sugi-san. Oh, forget it. I'm Chio. A pleasure. But I am surprised that you, of all people, will be helping them. Yeah, I guess I don't seem the type. It's only been a year since I started coming here after all. No, that isn't what I meant. Chio wasn't sarcastic in her response, and Mitsuki-san's interest seemed genuine. But after all, she glanced at me. Well, you did slap him. When I heard about that, I thought for sure that Messiah-san was Tentator Serpent. Something that we had to be rid of at any cost. Well, that was just a little bit of a misunderstanding. It's nothing like what the people were spreading rumours about. Really? Before she could answer, Mitsuki-san continued in a whisper. Yes, I suppose that's true. If it weren't, you wouldn't be sitting here with him. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Thanks to the newspaper article, everyone knows what Messiah-san did. But they don't know yet that they've cleared up the misunderstanding. Perhaps we should get that into the newspaper. So basically what this newspaper is a gossip rag. Gotcha. Thought there couldn't be that much in the way of news for a school, to be published daily, but once you expand it to gossip, then yeah, okay, fair enough. I had no objection myself, but I still looked over at Chio. I feel a little embarrassed, but well, I guess we have to do it. After all, I don't want Messiah to be labelled as Tentator Serpent forever either. Thanks. Hearing her say that made me feel truly happy. It's just the right thing to do. You don't have to thank me for it. Then I will speak to Tami-san about the matter myself. Please do. Ruriku-san. Yes? I'm surprised to see you here. Chio-san is his childhood friend, so it's natural that she should be here now that they've reconciled. But you? Well, why are you here? Tell me, Bijou Blue, what are you doing in the White Lily Society? Naturally, it's because I agree with Rise-san's goals. I'm shocked. I didn't know that you were such a progressive person, Ruriku-san. I love the fact they use progressive like it's an insult. I'm sorry. A society that doesn't progress stagnates, and stagnation invariably leads to things going badly wrong. Things have to advance, or they fail. I'm sorry, that's basic evolution. I simply never considered the matter before. What? But now that I have made a close friend... As she spoke, she smiled at Chio. I see. I expected to come here to see you despondent. I was surprised when I overheard you talking. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I've gained more allies. Our prospects have never looked brighter. Well, I won't stop you from dreaming. So you are against school reform after all, Mitsuki-san. After all, it is obvious that I am. It's just that you've never spoken to us about it. The subject has simply never come up. That may be the case, but there's one thing I've been wondering. And what is it? Your opposition to school reform. Does that really come from you, Mitsuki-san? What do you mean by that? Mitsuki-san glared at her angrily. And just as before, it occurred to me that these two have been closer than mere acquaintances. That is Mariki-sama's position, so that has become your position. Is that not the case? That is not the case! Mitsuki-san rose from her chair, and with the exception of Rai-san, the rest of us stared at her in shock. I've always felt this way, more or less. Mariki-sama maintains the neutrality of the student council, and that alone makes your theory obviously wrong. Are you certain of that? What? Does Mariki-sama truly maintain neutrality? I'm not so certain of that myself. I won't forgive such slander against One-sama. The words were harsh, but her voice had no power behind it. Chef de corps, is it? I believe that your early title was far more beautiful. You really do mean that, don't you? What? Mitsuki-san shook her head very slightly, and looked down at me. Well, I hope you're enjoying your life at our academy for now, Onakagi Masaya-san, because one term of it is all you're going to get. Mitsuki-san left the room, closing the door behind her with a bang. Did something happen between you two? No, it's nothing. We just... Well, we were once the best of friends. Did Mitsuki-san ever have a different title? By the time I got here, she was already chef de corps. She acquired her current title around the time we entered final course. What was it before? Lame de Lune. Means tear of the moon. Refers to the mole under her eye. Don't you think it's lovely? Wow. And now she is captain of the guard. I don't know who she is anymore. She started hanging out with Marika-san. Seems like you didn't like that, Rai-san. Yes. Ever since then, she's had no time for me. And in addition... In addition? As I prompted her, a bitter smile appeared on her lips. I must not say it too loudly, but... Well, I'm not terribly fond of Mariki-sama herself. Oh? Is that so? Yes. I'm rather surprised. Marika-sama is so very popular. Mariko-san turned to me to explain. During last year's grand vote, the White Lily Society candidate dropped out of the election. Mariki-sama was the Red Rose candidate. You're saying that Mariki-san was so popular that her opponent gave up without a fight? Yes. Wow. Good God, Masay, you are a bloody moron. Wow. Well, Mariki-san is beautiful, and she's got those huge breasts. Is that all that men think about? Apparently. Or it is apparently what all some men think about. Oh, I mean... I don't know Mariki-san very well, but why don't you like her, Rai-san? What I have to say may come off as petty, but... It's just that well, it's her way of smiling as though she's correct about everything infuriates me. To a frightening degree. Now that you bring it up, she does smile rather constantly. Yes, and she's always brimming with confidence, as if she never feels doubt about anything. That's something I can't understand. I never know what Mariki-sama feels about anything, and it irritates me. In the 5th Gospel of John, Jesus says that you can't trust people whose authority comes only from themselves. But Jesus was acting on God's authority. That's why you could believe him. So in other words, what authorities does Mariki-sama's righteousness come from? That's what I don't understand. But I really was surprised. I expected to see the two of them grasping at straws. Chio's joined them. That means his character must after all be, well, on the whole, unobjectionable. And then there's Ryuku-san. She's so composed that she could cause a change in the tide before I know it. which means that similar people may begin joining them from here on out. I can't imagine that Masaya-san would ever be accepted here, but just in case. I'm not sure if I can afford to stand and watch. Onisama hasn't said anything on the subject. I can't think for myself, she says. We'll see about that. Right, in that case... Managing to get Chio, our first intended recruit, on our side was a good omen of things to come. But our excitement was short-lived, for 1 week later we still hadn't gained a single additional affiliate. We'll have to give up on recruiting for the moment. Rai-san had said that 2 days ago, and it wasn't because she was deterred. Rather, it was because we'd already gone through the whole student body. It wasn't that hard with so few people at the school. Anyway, let's do the best we can with the members we have. And Masaya-san, keep interacting socially. I would have thought that if Rai-san or Ruruku-san did the inviting, we'd get a lot more members right away. Just went to show how strongly people opposed the student body was to reform. Yeah, people are scared of change. I was eating lunch in the dining hall when Rai-san came running up to me, and she looked happy. Masaya-san, look at this! Huh? She handed me an A4 size sheet of paper, and I held my chopsticks in my mouth while I looked at it. It's poor manners to hold your chopsticks in your mouth. Oh, right. Before I could move, she took the chopsticks and set them on my plate. This is... My eyes first went to the graph. I was shocked when I double-checked the title. Okanagi Masaya Approval Survey. What? I didn't tell you. No, this is the first I've heard of it. I see. Curious. Rai-san sat down, deep in thought, and after a moment she hit her fist into her palm with realization. The early results were so bad I didn't show them to you. Just look at the graph for the first survey. It's basically just riding the horizontal axis. That's because you only got 1 vote. Who do you think cast it? Right. The Student Council conducts an impartial approval survey once a week, publishes the results on Monday. That's pretty often. Yeah. That's why it'll be our trump card. We can easily check any changes to your approval rating. Are you kidding me? There is a weekly graph telling us how approved we are? This school is psychotic! My eyes fell back to the graphs, and the first and second polls both just gave me 1 vote. But the third poll was a sharp spike upwards, and I couldn't contain my surprise. The poll's conducted on Saturday, so the second poll represents the 11th through the 16th. You only had my vote then too, largely because of the incidents with Chio-san. I was pretty sure that Chio would slap me on the 11th and on the 13th. But now, everyone knows the truth of the matter. They also know that Chio-san and Ruruku-san have become affiliates. I think that's what counts for the change in the third set of results. I see. I understood what Rai-san had meant before about a trump card. Seeing results like this it's pretty encouraging. I know! But, I do have one concern. What is it? How many votes are there in total? Rai-san slumped as she spoke. Combining intermediary and final course, 463. A meteoric rise to 27 out of 463, huh? Well, we've only just begun, of course. Yeah, that's true. Really, you should consider this our starting line. All the negative criticism is gone, so from here on I believe we'll gradually pick up supporters. It doesn't need to be unanimous after all, we only need 232 for a majority. What do you think about that, by the way? It's rather close, isn't it? It is. Anyway, I'm going to do my best. I wouldn't want to leave here after only 1 term. Yes, that's very true. I really was happy to see today's results. I feel like it's a cause to really have hope. Yeah. I remembered how she'd run to see me, results in hand, and seeing Rai-san's excitement was what had made me happier than anything. Well, we've got mail, but this to me seems like a pretty good point to end this part. So, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.